You ever notice how men today are starving for guidance, not because they're weak, but because the world keeps telling them to shut up, obey, and hope for love? Let me be very clear with you. Women can sense when a man is unsure of himself. They can hear it in the way you tolerate disrespect disguised as honesty, pressure, or preference. You've been taught to decode her words so you can keep her, but no one taught you to recognize the things she says that should make you walk away without looking back. I'm a woman, and I'm going to tell you something most women won't. Men don't get hurt because women are cruel. They get hurt because they ignore the warning signs that come out of her own mouth. You keep negotiating with behavior that should have ended the conversation. You hold on to women who are actively testing how much of yourself you're willing to lose. This video isn't about hating women. It's about protecting men who keep sacrificing their self-respect in the name of love. If you're tired of questioning yourself, tired of bending, tired of trying to be understanding while she chips away at your value, stay with me. And if you're serious about leveling up as a man, hit that subscribe button now, because I won't sugarcoat anything here. You're going to hear truths that most so-called male advice channels won't touch. Now, listen carefully. You don't leave a woman because she's flawed. Everyone is flawed, you and me both. You leave when the things she says reveal mindsets that attack your masculinity, your boundaries, and your future. Some of you are lying next to women who are slowly convincing you that your standards are insecurity, your vision is control, and your pain is overreaction. You think staying makes you strong or loyal. It doesn't. It makes you easy to manipulate. And let me tell you something, men don't hear enough. Women respect the man they cannot move. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Too many men hand over that power the moment a woman claims her words were just a joke or just how she feels. You don't have to fight her. You don't have to explain yourself. You only have to decide that certain behaviors are beneath the life you're building. And those decisions should be immediate. Today, we're going to break down 7 behaviors women expose through the things they say. 7 mindsets that tell you exactly when to leave. Not argue, not complain, not hope she changes. Leave. Because if you don't, she won't become better for you. She'll become bolder in how she disrespects you. Let's get into the first one. And if it stings a little, that's good. It means you're waking up. 1. You should be grateful. I'm even here. When she says things like, "Most guys would be lucky to have me," or "I could be with someone better," or she constantly reminds you how many men want her, she's not being confident. She's positioning herself above you. And if you tolerate it, you just agreed with her. This mindset is rooted in superiority and entitlement. She wants you to feel replaceable so she can feel powerful. And here's what most men miss. A woman who truly values you doesn't compare you to imaginary competition. She doesn't dangle attention like a prize you need to keep earning. She understands that respect isn't optional, it's foundational. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." You cannot be free if you are with someone who wants you to feel small. You cannot lead a relationship when you're being subtly told you're lucky she hasn't walked away yet. And some of you have heard this exact energy in softer tones. "I settled down for you," or "You're not really my usual type, but I gave you a chance." Whether she says it with arrogance or fake humility, the message is the same. She believes she's above you, and she expects you to act accordingly. Let me ask you something. Why would a woman respect a man who allows her to talk to him like he's disposable? If a stranger walked up to you and listed all the reasons you were just good enough for now, would you stay for that conversation? Then why do you accept it from someone who claims to care about you? This is not about ego. This is about hierarchy. In her mind, she's the prize, and you're the participant. And men who stay in these dynamics slowly become performers instead of partners. Here's the truth. A woman who speaks like she's doing you a favor by being in your life is announcing that she plans to negotiate your worth every time things don't go her way. And if you don't correct that energy, not with words, but with distance, you will spend your life auditioning for someone who doesn't even see you. 2. That's just how I am. Deal with it. When a woman dismisses accountability by saying, "This is just who I am," what she's really saying is, "I don't want to change, and I don't respect the impact of my actions." It sounds harmless at first, almost like self-awareness, but pay attention. She's not acknowledging a flaw, she's excusing it. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The same applies here. If she believes her behavior is fixed, she won't grow. If she refuses to examine how she speaks to you, how she reacts, how she disrespects you, she's telling you to adjust yourself around her recklessness. And a lot of men fall for this because they think tolerance will earn transformation. It won't. You don't fix a woman by absorbing the damage she causes. You don't inspire better behavior by accepting the worst of it. Let me make this clear. Every emotionally mature person has flaws, but maturity shows in the willingness to address them. There's a difference between, "I struggle with this, but I'm working on it, and I do this, so get over it." One invites partnership, the other demands submission. Women know exactly what they're doing when they use that phrase. It's not random, it's a shield. It's a way to end the conversation and paint you as the problem for wanting better. You bring up her disrespect, her attitude, her lack of effort, and she shuts it down with, "That's how I've always been." Translation: lower your expectations or leave. And most men choose the first option. But here's a question that should hit you. If that's just how she is, then why does she act right around people she respects? Her boss? Her friends? The guy she still secretly wants validation from? Is that just how she is too? Or is that how she chooses to be with you because you won't walk away? When a woman refuses growth, she's not just rejecting change. She's rejecting accountability, partnership, and your standards as a man. And if she can't even acknowledge how her actions affect you, what makes you think she'll care when the stakes are higher? Kids, finances, long-term vision. You don't debate with someone who has already decided they're above correction. You leave. Because the moment you allow deal with it to become the standard, you're no longer a man in a relationship. You're a custodian of her ego. And ask yourself this. Do you want to build a future with someone who sees your needs as inconveniences? Or are you just afraid that walking away means starting over? 3. I'm not sure what I want. When she says, "I don't know what I want right now," or "I'm confused about us," or "I just need time to figure things out," she's not lacking clarity. She's keeping you as an option while she scans for better ones. You think patience will earn her certainty, but uncertainty is a strategy. A woman who values you doesn't risk losing you to think. She doesn't need space to decide if you're good enough. She already knows. The moment she tells you she's confused, she's announcing that she wants freedom without consequence. And if you stick around, you just gave it to her. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When a woman tells you she's unsure, she's giving herself permission to be disloyal without direct guilt. She wants the emotional security of your presence with the flexibility to entertain her options. And here's the problem. Men take this as something to fix. You start proving your worth, becoming softer, doing more, asking less. You become a safety net. Let me ask you something powerful. Why are you trying to convince someone to want you when there are women who would be sure about you from day one? Why are you fighting for clarity when certainty is a standard, not a reward? Here's the truth you may not want to hear. Her confusion is not about you, it's about her. And men pay with their time, their confidence, and their future waiting for her to make a decision she already made in silence. She just doesn't want to take responsibility for it. A woman who is unsure is rarely undecided. She's just unwilling to declare the decision you don't want to hear. And let's be real. Have you ever told a woman you were confused about what you want and still treated her like a priority? Number. Because confusion creates distance, not investment. Stop rewarding hesitation with loyalty. 4. You're too emotional or you're overreacting. Every time a man tries to communicate something that bothered him, and she responds with, "You're being dramatic, you're too emotional, or you're overreacting," she's not being honest, she's controlling the narrative. That statement is meant to invalidate your experience and silence your standards. For years, you've been told that emotions make men weak. So when a woman uses that against you, it hits deeper than you realize. You fall silent. You drop the issue. You start to doubt your own reactions. And slowly, your boundaries die in the name of not making it a big deal. Epictetus said something brilliant. No man is free who is not master of himself. Mastery is not silence. Mastery is knowing when something disrespects you and refusing to tolerate it, even if the world or the woman downplays it. A lot of women use this phrase as a defense mechanism. Instead of acknowledging where they're wrong or where they crossed a line, they flip the spotlight onto your reaction. Suddenly, the problem isn't her behavior. It's your awareness of it. And most men fall right into it because they'd rather avoid conflict than be labeled sensitive. But answer this honestly. If she spills her feelings, you're expected to listen, validate, comfort, and adjust. So why is your voice treated like an inconvenience? Why is your discomfort dismissed while hers is protected? This mindset is dangerous because it trains you to suppress. When you stop trusting your emotions, you stop trusting your instincts. And a man without instinct is a man who gets blindsided. Leaving isn't about punishing her. It's about protecting yourself. If she can't take your concerns seriously now, what do you think happens when real pressure shows up? Marriage, finances, parenting, loyalty. You don't want to wake up 10 years from now realizing you let someone convince you that your voice had no value. 5. If you really loved me, you would, when she uses love as leverage. If you loved me, you'd do this. If you cared, you'd change. If you're serious about me, you'd prove it. She's weaponizing your emotions to get compliance. That's not partnership. That's control dressed up as romance. This kind of woman doesn't want compromise. She wants confirmation that she can manipulate you. She frames your boundaries as a lack of love and her demands as reasonable expectations. And the second you resist, suddenly you're cold, selfish, or distant. Let's pull from Seneca here. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver. Love that is forced through guilt isn't love. It's emotional blackmail. When she attaches affection and validation to your willingness to obey, she's not interested in connection. She's interested in power. Think about the last time you heard something like this. Did it make you feel appreciated, or did it make you feel pressured? Did she ask you with respect, or did she corner you with emotional consequences? And here's the question you need to sit with. Why does she need to manipulate you if her needs are reasonable? Why can't she communicate instead of coercing? The answer is simple. Because she knows if she asked you directly, you'd probably say no. So she attacks your love instead of appealing to your logic. You may tell yourself you're compromising, but you're actually conditioning yourself to betray your own standards to avoid conflict. And every time you give in, she learns that guilt is the key to your obedience. A woman like this won't stop. Today it's about texting, money, attention, or friends. Tomorrow it's about sacrificing your goals, your time, your independence. Once love becomes currency, she'll keep taxing you until you're emotionally bankrupt. 6. You need to earn my respect. When a woman tells you directly or indirectly that her respect is conditional while she expects your loyalty to be automatic, she's telling you that the relationship is already uneven. She's not building with you. She's evaluating you. She throws out lines like, "Respect is earned," or "I can't just respect someone unless they prove themselves." But here's the twist. She expects you to treat her like a queen before she's shown you anything of substance. Seneca said, "Treat your inferiors as you would be treated by your superiors." Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something the right woman gives freely to the right kind of man. You don't earn respect through performance. You command it through presence, values, and action. But the woman with this mindset doesn't see respect as mutual. She sees it as leverage. And here's what most men ignore. Women like this already respect someone. It might not be you, but it exists. A boss, an ex, a man from her past, a man she secretly wishes she could access. So, the problem isn't that she doesn't respect men easily. It's that she doesn't respect you because she doesn't value who you are. If she did, she wouldn't need you to audition. Why do you think she wants you to earn what she's not even offering in return? Why does she want your provision, support, consistency, and commitment while holding back the one thing that anchors a relationship? Respect? Because she knows if she withholds it, you'll work harder. And the more you work, the less you'll notice the imbalance she's creating. A woman who genuinely values you will show respect immediately, not because you're perfect, but because she recognizes your essence. The rest of it, understanding, deeper trust, vulnerability, those are earned. But respect is not a prize. It is the baseline of interaction. If she withholds that, she is not preparing to love you. She is preparing to control you. And here's the harsh truth. You don't build respect in a place you had to beg for it. You walk away and create a life where it's the standard, not the trophy. 7. I don't need you. When she says, "I don't need a man," or "I can do everything myself," or "You're not that important," she's not being independent. She's warning you that she plans to minimize your role in her life while still reaping the benefits of your presence. Independence is not the problem. Disconnection is. A woman who genuinely doesn't need a man doesn't say it. She simply lives it. But when she vocalizes it to you, especially during conflict or negotiation, she's not celebrating strength. She's threatening you with irrelevance. Epictetus put it plainly. You may be invincible if you enter no contest in which it is not in your control to conquer. When a woman repeatedly reminds you she doesn't need you, she's engaging in a contest you can never win, because the game is designed to strip you of value. Think about the psychology here. She wants your attention, your time, your protection, your resources, your emotional labor, but she also wants to make it clear she could do without you at any moment. That is not empowerment. That is pre-installed detachment. And you might think you can change that. You convince yourself that if you show up enough, love hard enough, stay consistent long enough, she'll eventually soften and admit she needs you. But why would she, when she's already learned that she can disrespect the role of a man while still benefiting from one? Here's the mind-blowing question. Why are you trying to stay in the life of someone who tells you she could live the same life without you? If your presence is treated like an accessory, your absence will be treated like an inconvenience, not a loss. A woman doesn't have to depend on you to value you. But she must at least recognize that your presence enhances her life, not merely decorates it. If she frames you as optional, treat her as temporary. Leave when her words reveal her mindset. A woman will always tell you who she is. You just haven't been trained to listen. You don't leave because she's imperfect. You leave because her words announce a future where your masculinity is minimized, your presence is undervalued, and your peace is negotiable. The hardest truth men must face is that silence in the face of disrespect is quiet agreement. If she shows you entitlement, confusion, manipulation, superiority, invalidation, or detachment, believe it. Walk away before you're forced to crawl out later. Subscribe if you're done losing yourself in relationships, and come back for the next conversation, because this is just the beginning.